Hello everyone. So I have been asked a few times about this build, the 12 average soul 6 wizard 2 monk. So I'm making this video so you'll find well, an explanation of the build itself. So feats, enhancements, skills, everything. And then I'll explain a little bit after that some tips on how to play it and some general tips about Shiratis actually. And how the build plays itself. And I'll also talk about the gear, obviously. So yeah, I mean, quick introduction. This build isn't really from me. I mean, the idea came from Def, an old guildie on Kyber Revenants, and I saw one of his videos like 1 month or 2 months ago, and he plays a 12 average soul 6 wizard 2 barbarian for speedruns. And yeah, I saw the video, which really made me want to come back to the game. So I had taken a quite a long break. So I came back. I played a 14 wizard for average soul 2 monk for a while. Then I switched to the 12 average soul 6 wizard 2 monk, and it's been a blast. I just finished crafting my tier 3s, and I've been testing the build in some tough content. Me and Sestra duoed 2-man epic elite fire peaks yesterday, and the build was actually great for that. So I guess I can start with the stats. This is what it looks like. Well, with Yugo pods, let's see, quick GH. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, reflex save is pretty sweet. Other than that, it's just regular stuff. All the level ups, as you can imagine, are in int. And yeah, basically max fire resistance for peaks, and yeah, that's it for the stats. Let's move on to feats. Feats, I started with insightful reflexes and lightning reflexes. Lightning reflexes as a monk feat. Monk gives you 2 extra feats since you take 2 levels of monk. Then I have mental toughness and improved mental toughness. I was not able to pick up epic mental toughness, although it's 200 SP and 1% crit chance, for a very simple reason. At first I wanted to do this build human so that I would be able to fit in all the feats I wanted, and that includes things like epic toughness and epic mental toughness, but I just couldn't fit in. So human gets an extra feat, but at the cost of your level 12 spell, because as a human you will want to take the level 12 spell heal and not blade barrier, which is what I have. And believe it or not, but even with a 41 reflex, my blade barrier is extremely powerful. I'll explain a bit more why after that. So insightful reflexes, lightning reflexes, we said, mental toughness and improved mental toughness, master of forms, and adapt forms, so that I can pick up the 3rd tier monk stance. What else do I have? I have toughness as the 2nd monk feat. Well, empower spell, maximize spell, and quicken spell. As my favorite soul resistances, I took cold and fire. Cold because a lot of the casters cast single target cold spells, for example, in peaks, and it does quite a bit of damage. So it was either acid or cold for me. I don't really need electricity. I don't try and fight all that much, and even then, my absorb is good enough. So yeah, we said maximize, quicken, empower, toughness, epic toughness. Oh, yeah. Then wizard past life feat. I have 1 Colors of the Queen. This is my only epic life since I've just come back. I'm not really into grinding too much right now. So yeah, I took the Wizard past life for the clicky. Iconic, I only have 1 Blade Forged. And epic feats are epic spell power force, epic toughness, Reen, and Hellball. And for me, on a Shibari caster, you want Reen and Hellball. There's no way for me, there's no way I'm ever playing a caster without those 2 things ever again. because it's fucking badass. It's it's really insane. So we talked about feats. So yeah, stats level ups into intelligence, starting intelligence 18, starting con 20, and starting wisdom 10 on Blade Forged. Skills, pretty much you want max repair and max spellcraft. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, there we go. Spellcraft and repair. My spellcraft could be a bit better because I only have a plus 15 spellcraft diamond, so I could improve it. And I don't think it makes that much of a big difference in the end. So then use magic device, obviously, good enough for throwing raise scrolls. And although I'm 12 average soul, so I still get like 85% chance, even though I have 10 deaths or something. Yes, because I sometimes die 10 times in peaks. Yeah, I died 18 times in DD2, man. By the way. Perform because that affects Sonic. Then what else? Heal a little bit because obviously I run a lot with Sestra 2-man and he's a fleshy. And even for myself, believe it or not, but that little Cure Serious Wounds that we see on my fourth space in my main hotbar, I use it a lot, either for myself or for Sestra. And then yeah, balance and some Diplo, and that's it. Diplo is quite useful in the new raids if you have both Dragons aggro. Yeah. To grab the aggro, obviously use Reen, but to get rid of the aggro, yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Okay, so we've done stats, feats, and skills. Moving on to spells. Favorite soul spells. The reason why I have inflict light wounds is because when you use the cursed blade of Jack Gibbers from the epic cove that was released, you can actually heal, and then you never know when you run with a Pale Master. It's always that little thing that can save them. So I've used it a few times, yeah. Then the cure light wounds makes sense. Remove curse, well, you never know, it's faster than a potion, so that's why I keep it. This is just for trolling, water breathing, obviously. Less restoration because it's quite useful. It's easier than casting a heal scroll. Therefore, freedom of movement as buffs. Well, I don't need them because I have those boots that have freedom of movement. And for therefore I have the epic death curd, and then I have the potion from the festival. So level 5 divine punishment, it's not that powerful, but I mean it's your dot. Honestly I've not really used it at all, and the only few places where I think I would use it is in, like, I don't know, where there's in a raid or there's a boss and he's immune to level 4 and below spells, like Laylat in epically DQ2. When she goes the last 20%, the shield is non-dispellable. Maybe Vision of Destruction, which I haven't run in like a year or so. Anyway, and finally Blade Barrier, which is your main favorite spell. Yeah, there's only 41 reflex. Mobs save it all the time. But in the Epic Elite Peaks that we did yesterday with Sestra, I was using these all the time, and the 327 kills, yeah, all those kills I got them with Blade Barrier, so it is fucking powerful. It is extremely powerful. A Shirari with that kind of kiting ability is just godly. Yeah, alright, so that was my little promotion for having Blade Barrier. I was actually not going to take it at first because I wanted to go human, and in which case this would have been my heal spell. So human saves me a couple of APs since I don't have to spend them on a Communion of Scribing. But on the other hand, I lose Blade Barrier, which is now, I believe, a must-have. So Wizard, obviously magic missiles and the chain missiles, obvious stuff. Some buffs over here, some buffs as well over here, and then rather weak, but situationally good, repair moderate damage, and then displace, which only lasts 36 seconds, I believe. Yeah, 36 seconds. But I have a bunch of clickies, I have the potion, and honestly, things dies, stuff dies so quickly that you only need like displays when you're into the action, so you're never in the action for more than 46 seconds. Although it was a bit painful in the, once again I'm talking about the epic elite peaks, but it's my reference point for testing this build, so that's um, so yeah, this is a weak but situationally useful displacement. What else? So we've done skills, feats, stats, spells, enhancements. Now, okay, so enhancements. This is probably much better. So in the Blade Forge tree, I didn't want to spend too much. I could have, like, this is really good with per system, 10% extra, really nice. But once again, it's very AP. This build is very AP intensive, and yeah. Anyway. No, AP star, I should probably say. Alright, so yeah, this is what I spent on. Plus 242, then will save, communion of scribing, obvious must have. Inscribed armor, obviously, some con and fortification. Ancient Mystic, just 1 AP just for the fire spell, force, and 2 fire resistance, and well, a crit chance as well. Then moving on to the 2 main trees where you have all your APs. Archmage and Angel of Vengeance. So the main thing that you need to understand about those two trees, the goals are spell critical chance, mana regen, and mana efficiency. Alright, so mana regen goes through Scourge, mana efficiency goes through all those efficient maximize, -9 spell points on maximize, -9 spell points again in the Archmage, they stack. -6 on Empower and -4 on Quicken, which means my Maximize, which originally costs 25 spell points, it costs me 1 spell point on the build. So here's a little thing to prove it. Okay, so Empower is off on Magic Missiles. As you can see, it's costing 11. Now I'm going to remove Maximize, and it's back to 10. And I'm putting back on 11. So you see, Maximize only cost me 1, and the reason is 25 -9 from Favorite Soul, -9 from Archmage, and -6 from the Meridian Fragment on the right gamma. Alright, so basically all the way up to the Archon. The Archon is the most powerful ability that you have on the build. I'll explain again why after. I mean, it's just visually you'll understand. Okay, so the crit line over here in Archmage, the crit line over here. Anyway, an Arcane Supremacy, which is incredibly powerful. So that's pretty much it. So you end up with 2 SLAs, the Arcane, and those 2 Shield of Animation and Aura, which is really good. Okay, so we've done this as well. I'm not going to show you my crafting because it's super low. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think we should move on to gear. Gear-wise, it took me a lot of time to figure out what I wanted, and then once again, it kind of depends on what random items you get, because you want some items such as and this is loot gen, obviously. So you kind of depend on that. It's not something you can choose. So I got those combinations. I replaced a lot of gear many times until I found this. And I'm really happy with it right now, and I'm probably not gonna change anything. The only thing I could possibly change is switch to 2 items so that I can use the Iron Midis, which would give me plus 20 extra hit points and 30% healing amplification, which is nice to have considering I use Cure Series and Healing Spring quite a bit. Alright, so gear-wise, I have crafted 2 Featherforged Kamas. This took me a lot of time, but I grinded like crazy for them. So here they are. Reconstruction is, well, as you can see in the slots, Spellcraft Reconstruction and Meridian Fragments are, pretty obvious. And then Corrosion, because I use the Energy Burst a lot, and it's Acid, since a lot of stuff is not immune to Acid. And then Combustion, because a lot of procs are Combustion as well. And then the Strength, because otherwise I don't have a Strength item. This is my Strength item, basically. Okay, so after that I chose the Dwarvencraft Impulse and the Dwarvencraft Resonance. Why? Because she already procs her 4 spell power, and she already is Resonance. And then we have Eternal Scorching Light. Second tier I chose on both Kamas, I chose the slots. And then last year I chose on one Kama the Eternal Scorching Light, so it's plus 50 SP every 40 seconds. No, sorry, 45 seconds, I'm sorry. Which is really, really good. I mean, once again, it's every 45 seconds I end up with plus 60 spell points due to the fact that Scorch gives me plus 10. So plus 60 makes my Green and Hellball cheap. I mean, it's almost like free. So it's really nice to have. And then the other one, I have 17% crit chance. Because I would rather have the 17%, on everything than just 22% on just kinetic. Or I could have crafted like 22% kinetic and then 17% crit chance. But anyway, I thought this was the best setup, and I went for this anyway. And also it's a bit faster to craft those Kamas, because for Dwarvencraft lore you need 3 Shadow Flogs, and for the Eternal Scorching Light you need 3 Fire Flogs, so it's both ways, so it's much faster. Okay, so then some loot gen, Charismatic plus 10, Crown of Wizardry, basically Charisma for the spell points, and once again Wizardry for the spell points again. Then we have the Necklace of Mystic Eidolons from Haunted Halls, upgraded with physical resistance. Then moving on to the Green Steel spell points item. Pretty basic. I mean, you can just pause on the video if you want to watch it. Then loot gen again. This perfect setup. Intelligence plus 10, resistance plus 10. Awesome to have. Then we have the Shadow Scale Docent. I chose as my upgrade the plus 1 reflex saves. Then I have the Draconic Soul Gem and Sapphire of False Life. And the click is pretty nice. I mean, the only times where I've found it was really critical for me was in Deathwing, when I was cutting the bone guys, cold jerks at the end. So once you get really they surround you and you cannot move, then you just use this and you can get away from them. Then loot gen again, health 10 of dodge 10%. I didn't show you my dodge. My dodge is 25. Why? Well, yeah, because I mean I'm not moving. Otherwise, it's 23. Then the Guardian's Bracers, plus for inside 2 saves is really nice to have. Then this is my hit points item, and I chose to have repair and concentration, as you can see, which is a small increase, but always worth it. Then the Lantern Ring. This ring is fucking badass. It's got a lot of good stuff, and I slotted Good Luck plus 2 and Insightful Intelligence plus 2, and I have the Eldritch Resistance as well on that one. And then the Sage's Ring. Why did I choose this? Basically, first because it's my wisdom item. Second, because it's got a slot, and finally because I needed the potency somewhere. And before, I was actually using the boots from Fall of Truth, which were nice, but I didn't have much besides the 90 potency. So when the Epicove was released, I switched to the boots from Thought to these boots, and these boots are even better. Freedom of movement, Servant Fire Resistance, Fire Absorption 40%, and Speed 10. Yes, please. And so I lost the equipping those boots made me lose my potency. So I went for this ring, which gives me the 92 potency, because obviously I don't have a devotion item, so it's really important for me to keep up everything. So there's like, as you can see right now, my 4 spell power is 386. It goes up to 510 when I'm in quests. So as you can see, there's a pretty big gap. Alright, so this is it, I think, for the build. I should move on to... Okay, maybe I should explain a little bit about the clickies and hotbars. We're gonna go a bit faster on this this part though. Alright, this is extremely important. This is my absorption gamma, because I don't have improved evasion, I just have evasion, and even though I have a great reflex save, it's definitely not enough for stuff like epic elite peaks. So DeFi absorption for me is a must-have. There was no way I could have done the 2-man peaks without this. And the bad thing is that I had to lose one of my gammas, so kind of difficult for me. Anyway, so that is 45% absorption. Then I also have, well, you know, another one with a negative energy absorption for Deathworm. Then this is just, you know, for buffing, minus 10% on spell points cost, you know. Then the sort of Jack Cheebers, it works in raids, it does. So it's awesome to have, and we had to use this quite a bit in well, quite a bit. We used it once in peaks because we ended up both dead 3 times. So 2 times, 1 time I recovered with the Exalted Angel Reborn Light ability. 1 time I recovered with this, and the other time Sestra recovered with this. So I mean, once the video goes up, it's gonna be fucking awesome to watch. So this is my race clicky, and then Stone Skin, then some displacement, Cloud Kill, useful for LB and such. Another displacement and haste. Then Bolts of Propulsion, Mana Regen again, Mana Regen. Displacement, Spell Absorption, this is Surge for Haunted Halls, Mana Regen as well. Mana Regen, Spell Absorption that I'm gonna upgrade, clicky again. Well, the rest is pretty simple. Okay, so now moving on to what I have on my hotbars. A lot of the stuff is not really worth talking about, all these things here, not really, you know, some potions, my components, consumables, then I guess my main, some of my main abilities. Then potions as well. I keep up some spell power potions, and I always use those. These are really cheap. It doesn't last long, but it's really good. So I usually go for well, impact, resonance, fire. I don't use it that much anymore, actually. Repair, obviously, and a lot of brilliance, especially when I run in Exalted. Then buff bars, dances. Then this is some. This is a small replacement, I suppose, for Ice Storm, since I don't really have like something to slow mobs, unless I go in Shivadi and go for the Stay Frosty, which I was actually twisting for the Epic 8 Peaks. Then, you know, all of these, you know, abilities, obviously, so not much to talk about here. Once again, abilities, you know, it's when you set up your hotbars, I mean, this is just some advice, you need to find out a way that you are going to remember first, and it's going to be efficient. You want to be fast, you know, in stuff like, you know, when you do epic elite content and duoing and stuff. It just comes down to how fast you can click on something. So everything counts. Every small things, whether it is hotbinding, you know, setting up a hotkey, or making sure it's somewhere that you can access really fast. And as an FPS, first-person shooter player, you know, I try to really make my hotbars as efficient as possible. And you can gather by types, like we have scrolls, we have like feats, we have potions, we have components. You know, that's pretty much it. So yeah, we talked about this. Now moving on to Epic Destinies. Epic Destiny, this is my setup. I don't really need to explain it. I mean, it's Shiradi, everyone knows it. If you have questions, you know, ask, but I don't think I need to spend too much time on this. My twists are at this time Energy Burst, Empyrean Magic, and Unearthly Reactions. Empyrean Magic is insanely powerful. If you haven't tested it, go for it. Although I probably wouldn't pick it up if I didn't have the Archon, and I'll explain why. When I was the 14 Wizard 14 Wizards 4 Favorite Soul 2 Monk, I did not pick it up because it was impossible to charge, even with Scorching Ray. Yeah. Okay, so I sometimes also run in Exalted. Believe it or not, the damage is lower, but it is quite powerful. And this is my setup for Exalted. And when I'm Exalted, it usually means I need the wings, the survivability, extra spell points, um, and yeah, the damage is lower, but I mean you can still do it. I mean, you know, it's not that bad. I mean, you've got a bunch of SLAs, Rebuke, who is really good, and then I just spam Sunbolt and Avenging Light combined with Magic Missiles. Since when I'm Exalted, I twist at least, you know, that Stay Frosty stance. Okay, so we've talked about I think everything now. I'll just give some tips now about the build, since you guys, if you've been watching until this point, you're probably a bit bored right now. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. Just watch my buff bar over here at the top left corner. I'm just gonna show you why it is insane to have the Archon. So I'm just gonna press it, and now you just watch over here at the top. And well, you can also watch here. We're gonna send what you're gonna want to see is the Eternal Scorching Light, and how fucking fast I get my spell power boost. Okay, so I'm just attacking. So he Scourge, 2 charges, 3 charges, Arcane Supremacy, 4 charges. I have Eternal Scorching Light as well. Plus, look at my spell points. Plus 60. There we go, 7. Well, there's only one mob, but it's gonna die. But see how fast I'm already charged. And Imperial Favor is plus 10% crit chance and plus 20 spell power. So yeah, just pressing that one little thing, it gives me plus 10% crit chance right there. Then I have plus 24 spell power. Then again, it's plus 30 spell power and plus 20 spell power. So right there, all of that is just like a lot. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not doing the calculations, but you know, a lot more spell power. Then again, you can see this Scorching Light procced again. So my Hellbolt is just gonna cost me 6 mana. And so this is the first tip, how powerful the Archon was. I mean, as you can see, it's just fucking insane. I just charged up, you know, it keeps up and it charges everything. You know, that's that's the first thing. Okay, the second thing I wanted to talk about was yeah. So just, you know, you can time it. You can time when you use Arene. You can time everything pretty much with the SP buffs. What else did I want to talk about? So yeah, how powerful the Archon was. So yeah, the Blade Barrier is not that powerful, but it killed stuff. Sorry. So the last thing also is Hellball. Hellball, now if you use it like this, watch carefully the procs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now I'm going to find some other mob and I'm going to use it again. Now it would be best if the mob had some hit points. I'm just gonna jumping into that quest to find a mob with enough hit points. Actually, those guys might be enough. So, as you can see, if you use Hellball from far away, you get 4 procs. Now, if you use Hellball from close range, yeah, they didn't have enough hit points. Okay, I'm jumping into that quest. Now, just pay attention to how many damage I get on the Hellball, and do I even need to talk to this guy? Okay, now just pay attention. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, see, there you go. So you can see it procs 2 times when you get close. See? So you get 8 damage. So it's another tip on how to play. You know, it doesn't. It's not specific to this build. It's specific to all Shiratis. And I mean, to me, it really sounds really fair that because you have to get close to the mobs, really close, right? So you have to take probably some hits. So to me, it's only fair that you get, you know, extra damage. So I think it's actually working properly. So yeah, those are the tips. The Archon, how powerful it is, and I just showed you how, you know, powerful you get. Just having the Archon, it, you know, gets all these procs, and you keep up every, you know, like plus 24, plus 30, and plus 20 spell power at all times just with the Archon. So that's how powerful it is. And then you also get the 10% crit chance. So yeah, it is really good. Yeah. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, you know, it's just other than that, the playstyle is just spam magic missiles. When you get a bunch of mobs scattered, you just use energy burst and hellball. And you just kite a little bit with blade barrier, and that's pretty much it. And you can play this build very efficiently, where you just do magic missiles, magic missile SLA again, and this doesn't cost a lot of mana at all. So you can just run like this for hours and hours without, and with actually having maximize on the magic missiles, whereas a lot of like basic Shuaris, you know, like I don't know. Sork, Shiaris or stuff, they just cannot have, you know, all their, they just can't afford to have all their magics on for the spells, and on this build I can. Okay, so I mean, this is pretty much it. I'll make another video, but you know, gameplay this time, because I didn't show any real gameplay. If you have any questions, you know, just feel free to ask. I'm really open, you know, kind of guy. So if you wanna talk about builds and everything, that's what I'm interested in. And you can find me on Citily-1 on Calenda. So yeah, I mean, thanks for watching. If you watched until this point, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the build and try it. All right, see you.